Welcome to another episode of Meet the Expert, and I'm super proud to have finally got Corey Romero with me.
Sorry, I think I'm a little more excited. I've got Ariel with me. I've seen this guy's name on all the vExpert applications coming in. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So I actually am more excited that I'm with Ariel than I think he's more excited than I am. So sorry to interrupt you. I had to say that.
Every vExpert's dream is to be able to shake Corey's hand, right?
And Ariel's.
Because he's been doing this for a long time, and every vExpert knows Corey's a busy man.
Yes.
So we want to get to know you a little bit better, because it's always such a rush. It's like, Corey, he's there.
I'm always seem to be like always going somewhere else. I always seem to be in a rush. It's because I'm doing so much.
For 1,300.
Yeah.
What's the number now?
It's just over 1,600. Yeah.
Oh my God. And you know how I feel about that. So keep.
Yes. Well, as long as we have the evangelism, for me, it's not so for VMware and me. In the program, it's not about a number, right? I don't care if the number is 6 or the number 6,000. What we're really looking for is quality content and evangelism in the community, and that's really what it's about. So if you're doing that, you can become a vExpert. So there's really no numbers on top of what we're trying to get or what we're not. So
how much time have you had at VMware?
How much what?
How long have you been a VMware employee?
Let's see. I started at VMware about 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Yeah, just under 10 years ago. Started as a contractor.
Wow, okay.
Started as a contractor.
Did you always start in this kind of role?
No. So prior to that, back in the mid and late 90s, I was a senior developer for egghead.com and also onsale.com.
Cool.
Loved it, loved technology.
So you're a geek?
Yeah, total geek. Okay. Yeah, total geek. I learned this stuff, all of it, from playing Duke Nukem. So we wanted to learn networking in Duke Nukem.
Just to get the LAN party.
Yeah, seriously. We would do LAN parties for Duke Nukem and then all the way up into Quake. And so that's how I really got into technology. And then I started writing code. Started writing HTML back in I think it was 96.
And you figured out somebody could pay you for this?
Yeah, I did. I figured out someone would pay me for it. I went to college as well. Came out of college, worked for onsale.com, egghead.com as senior developer, loved it. Bottom fell out of the .coms, right? The whole .com bubble. I do have a background in motorcycle riding, so I rode dirt bikes for the most part of my life. Grew up on a ranch.
Most part of your life?
Yeah. Well,
so you were serious about motorcycle riding?
Yes, I was on dirt, but I wasn't really serious like as a racer or anything else. But when I got to riding street bikes, I became really serious.
Oh, my God.
Between the tech jobs, I did some.
Real talk. What was the fastest you went?
Depending on which. Fastest was close to 200. Yeah, the fastest on one wheel was 178 miles an hour.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
So you can see why I kind of decided to leave that sport.
I'm very happy you can walk.
Well, my first son was born, and I decided at that time, it's time for me to go back and have a real career in tech. So let's start pounding the pavement, get my name back out there, resumes, and I landed a job as a contractor at VMware. Okay. And I did contracting for a year.
Were you like a developer for VMware?
So I wasn't a developer at first. So the first year I was just a content marketing person. So I would build. I built the first VMware German site. I built the first.
Cool.
I did a lot of it. About 70% of the translations copied over to the pages. Just easy work.
Wow. But very important.
Oh, very important. Absolutely. We were building our global VMware. Global VMware channels, which is great. So I was involved in that. And then at the end of my contract, I was looking for a developer position. That's really what I like doing. And in communities, Eric Nielsen, they had a developer position.
Eric Nielsen was, so you guys have been working for a long time together, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me more about that.
So I got to meet Eric Nielsen. He had a job opening for a developer. And so I wrote PHP applications for VMware. I did some Instagram API integrations for PR and for careers. Okay. I did that. I built VMworld.com for several years.
You're the web admin of these properties?
I was. VMworld.com I would build solely. Wow. Yeah, I would literally build by myself. I would start in June.
I'm learning so much right now.
I would start writing code in June, and we would rebuild the whole site from top to bottom, from June all the way, and we would go until VMworld, and then maintenance would happen all the way until the end of Europe. So it would go from June to October, right?
That's crazy.
Which was great.
Hold on. Yeah. At the same time as you were starting with vExpert?
No.
Okay.
This was, so John Troyer was doing vExpert at this time when I was doing, when I was writing code.
And I came in after John had left, so that's I only known you, right?
Right, yeah. So I wanted to transition from writing code into a marketing role where I could interact with the community, interact with folks. You know, my hands don't hurt anymore. I've been writing code too long. And so
you're very interested in the community aspect,
absolutely.
and that draw you to having that conversation, can I?
Yes, well, I started actually writing code on the community platform. So on our Jive community platform, the VMTM platform.
Just want to make sure, Tom, are we still in the shot?
Yeah. Okay. So the platform that Katie Bradley runs is VMTM Communities. I used to write the code for communities. So whenever we had a massive theme change or anything we wanted to be built on communities, I would go and write. And by doing that, I would actually start to interact with the community. So the first developer site of VMware I built.
So you were putting the announcement, and people were like, blah, 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 you're like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'd run right back, as a developer, right? And then, you know, so when I started doing development on VMworld.com, what was really cool was I was the first person to know the knowledge when we launched. Sorry. So when we, further apart? Close to it. So when we, so when we would launch VMworld.com or Session Builder would go live, I would know first before the corporate channels. Right? So I would give it to the corporate channels, but I would also was trying to build my personal brand by giving the information out. Hey, Schedule Builder's open. And I had created.
Wait for that announcement from Corey.
Yes, but no, it wasn't Corey. I had built this persona called VM World Guy.
Okay.
Right, and it was just the VM World Guy.
Which is?
That's right. Now it's V Community Guy, but back then it was VM World Guy, and I was like the persona that announced things not early, but maybe a couple hours early before the official emails went out. So that was cool. Yeah, that was fun. So I transitioned from writing code over to the vExpert program.
When Troyer left, he left the position open, you said, this is my end?
No, it wasn't really that. So John and I worked together for a long time. I did some code writing for John. I did some program stuff for John. Program meaning like program management stuff for John as well along the years. So John and I had built a really close relationship, as well as with Alex Mayer. I'm not sure if you know Alex Mayer. She worked with John. She was the Corey before Corey, when Corey was a developer. So what was really great was I got to transition into that role when John left and Alex both left, but we had like a 6-month transition. So I was able to get really involved in the vExpert program with John. So John was my mentor.
A proper handoff.
Absolutely. John was my mentor on how to do the program, how to run the program, all the ins and outs of the program. So it was absolutely fantastic to work with John. So I took over the vExpert program a couple years ago.
What years were that?
What years?
What year did you actually take the program? Because I've been at vExpert maybe since 2015. Something like that.
2014, I want to say, is when I took it over.
Okay.
Yeah, 2014 is when 2013 is when Troyer left, and then 2014 is when I took over the whole program.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
What was your first impression when you had to review so many applications? Because I
can't believe on how much work people do. This is insane. The amount of community work that's in these applications is just phenomenal. Like I said at the very beginning, I'm more excited to meet you, and I really actually honestly meant that. One of the key things that we saw in a lot of the applications was your name across a lot of the applications, which was fantastic.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Tell me what your peak season. When does your peak season start? Because by now you have to have a calendar.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm opening applications, and it's gonna be crazy. Like, this is like we review this. Tell me about the process, a little about the backend process, how this goes, because I hope it's not just you checking things.
No. So we have a whole algorithm and a point system set up, right? So when I first took over the program, one of my biggest questions was, how do you become a vExpert? Right? And there was no real clear answer. It was like, do you have to blog? Do you have to tweet? Well, no, you have to give back to the community, right? That's really what it's about, right? And whether that's doing VMUG work, doing your own independent speaking with college students or high school students, or writing books or anything else, right? It's all giving back to the community, and that's really what we're trying to do.
That's exactly how I share with people. The first thing I ask them is, do you want to help others?
Right.
If you want to help others, you can find a way.
Right.
And it doesn't matter which way, but the important thing is you're really helping others.
Yes. Yeah, so we actually have a whole point system. that we run through, and it goes through blogs, and it'll look at how many, it'll look at your blog, how old your blog is, how many posts you've had in the past X amount of, the period, and then how many posts were on VMware topics. So we go and review those, and then we'll actually allocate a set of points towards that.
Yeah.
And then we'll look at your other activities, Twitter. We'll look at behind the scenes activities as well. Speaking engagements.
I hope you're taking a little more weight for actual conversations than just retweets, right?
Yeah, oh yes, no. We don't retweets. They're like zero. Yeah, 0 points for retweet.
Yeah. There you go. That's good to know.
Not always zero. Well, what we really look for on Twitter is we look for engagement between community members on VMware topics, solving problems.
Yeah,
that's what we really look for. Yeah. And whether that's a retweet, that's great. That's awesome. What I meant was, we don't count retweets. Is if you just sit there and retweet all day.
These bot
we're looking for interaction, problem solving, community help. That's what we're really looking for, is that type of engagement.
Very good.
Yeah.
So, is it, apart from the scoring and all this, how many people are reviewing applications?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah, a lot.
Because I always think there's probably like 2 or 3 people, and in my mind it's Corey, Katie, and obviously I met some new members today, but there's some intern,
So we utilize the community team we're on now, that I'm on now, also the partner team, and the customer team.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, because we have 3 different tracks that come in, and so we will run all those through the different tracks.
Much more complex than I thought it was, right?
Yes, it's very complicated.
Okay, so which are your peak times in the year when we shouldn't bother you?
None. You should always email me.
Bother you.
Well,
okay.
I always get back to everybody.
When do you go on vacation?
Vacation I usually try to save for summertime.
Summertime.
Yeah, that's when my kids, and it's tough because VMworld's in August.
Yeah.
So I try to get it out in June, July.
Yeah.
I've got 2 small boys, and my oldest is 17, almost turning 18.
Yeah.
And so
that's really good.
July,
that's really good.
Yeah, June, July is my vacation time. But I always tell the vExperts when I'm going on vacation, right?
Yeah. You
try to get the stuff done.
I'm always amazed how good you run the program, because the program basically runs on 20 emails a year.
Yeah.
Those 20 emails are like, read it all, because there's a bunch in there.
Yes.
It's super important. Here's the dates, everything.
Yeah, I try not to fluff the program.
No.
I try to give you real stuff that you can work with, you can leverage, you can take and facilitate on however you want. Yeah.
Okay, so now that I have you, you know that I'm trying to help others, right?
Absolutely.
And make it vExpert.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for people that are interested in the program, want to make vExpert? What should you focus on?
So my advice would be to find your niche on what your strong points are in the community. I've had a lot of questions where people come up and say, "Hey, I'm not a blogger, so can I be a vExpert?" Blogging actually does not qualify you as a vExpert just because you blog. There are many vExperts that do a lot of different things that don't blog. They'll do things like they'll go to their local vMug and they'll interact with their local vMug and find out how they can interact and how they can support that local vMug. And they'll do speaker engagements, and they'll also work with the vMug on how they can align on how to organize meetings and events for the community. So there are so many different ways that you can really help out here. So it's really about finding your niche, finding what you love to do, and finding out on how you can give that back to the community.
Right,
and that's what I would say the biggest thing is on how you become a vExpert.
You heard it from the source.
Yeah.
All right, Corey, really, I'm honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And we'll have this soon, and you'll send it out,
Great.
I'm sure all the vExperts will be like super interested in all this backstory that you told me, and especially getting to know you a little better.
Absolutely. Yes,
right.
thank you, Errol.
Thank
Appreciate
you so much.
it.